a look at what the microphones captured in the White House press room this week.
You can take out the mask, Doug. The case fatality rate's at 0.1 to 0.3 according to USC.
Is it really? That's reassuring.
USC.
Everybody here's been vaccinated anyway.
USC and LA County Public Health come out with a study. They found that there are 7,000 cases in California, but they really believe that there are anywhere from 221,000 to 442,000 people who were infected.
Really?
Yeah.
So that makes it 0.1 to 0.3? Does a study to come out with? Or?
Yeah, just give it to them. So it suggests that the case fatality rate is about 10. It seems.
Wow.
Which puts you right in line with the flu.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what it is.
So it was a hoax.
I don't think it was a hoax.
That was Fox's John Roberts bringing the information about the fact that it looks like the rate of death in America is something like the flu. But you have to be asking yourself, but why is that not what they're saying on television still? Why didn't I hear about that? That happened when? A couple of days ago, and still that's not what's being announced on the news? Fox didn't come forward and say, hey, this is all over, we can take our masks off. Well, it's fascinating. It's something I want you to track more and more and more. The censorship, the danger to how these stories are being portrayed. We're going to get into the details of this story, but I really want you to be alarmed at what happened afterwards. Because after this little slip up or whatever it was took place, John Roberts ended up having to essentially make an apology. And I want you to know how this works because I've worked in television. I won an Emmy Award working on the Doctor's television show, so I know what happens behind the scenes. And I know what happens when you make a mistake as a producer or you put something out or a microphone gets out and now Fox is held responsible. You get sat down in a room, they all look at the video and say, you want to explain yourself here, Robert? And I mean, at first he's going to say, well, I mean, look, I didn't know there was a microphone on. That can't possibly be my fault. Yeah, but you're undermining. We are getting calls from Pfizer. We are getting calls from Sanofi Aventis. And all of our advertisers right now, we're in deep, and you better think of something to say. And so what does he say? Well, that ended up being the headline from this. Not that Fox, news reporter is ahead of the game and really reporting. What it was, oh, I was just kidding. Take a look at some of these headlines really quick. That ended up referencing, was Fox News' John Roberts caught on a hot mic discussing COVID-19 as a hoax? Next, Fox News' John Roberts shoot down coronavirus conspiracy theorists. There is no vaccine. Basically, well, no, I was just joking. It goes on. Everyone's been vaccinated around here anyway. Conspiracy theories run rampant after White House hot mic catches, here it is, press room joke. Oh, he was joking. Oh, it's just a giant joke. Media takes it. White House hot mic catches NYT photog joking with Fox's John Roberts. We've all been vaccinated around here, talking about not addressing what his conversation was actually about. You did have the cameraman saying, well, we're all vaccinated here. It seems like he didn't even know what he was talking about. But the real issue was the numbers have come down. And here's the AP. Let's look at how the AP treated this entire story. Video misrepresents journalist comments in White House briefing room. Oh, it was misrepresented. It was taken out of context. We edited the video. Is that what we're saying? That a hot mic really didn't happen or someone went in and manipulated it? Did we have voiceovers? Is that what happened? Let's see what the AP ends up saying about this story. It says, claim video caught comments between Fox News and New York Times journalists revealing they believed COVID-19 was a hoax. That's the claim. But we looked into it, and we say it's false. A video feed that was actively recording the White House briefing room captured an exchange between Fox News chief, White House correspondent John Roberts, and New York Times photographer Doug Mills saying COVID-19 was a hoax. And we've all been vaccinated, but the comments were taken out of context, Roberts told the Associated Press. The comments were made in jest. We were kidding. It was a big joke. It's not a big joke. The joke is on us. When you start catching people telling the truth and they try and say, oh, no, we were joking, you really have got to wonder, why is that the headline? Now, I want you to watch this video one more time as it starts out, and you tell me, did they all get together? It's like 3 different guys talking. Were they backstage and said, you know what'd be really funny? I know there's a hot mic going out there. Let's do a little ditty, okay? I'll come in and announce the, the USC numbers and the fact that it's down. You say, well, we're all vaccinated for it. And you, third guy, you say, well, does that mean it's like on par with the flu? Oh, all right, yeah, I can do that. When's my line? Oh, you'll be after, what are they, actors? We got a director back there, Martin Scorsese back there, setting up this little ruse for America? You ask yourself, does this sound like something that was preordained or as a joke? Or are these guys having a serious conversation about something that affects them on a daily basis, how close they can sit to each other, and whether or not they need the mask? Watch again and see if you're capable of getting a sense of whether this was a joke or not. Take a look.
You can take out the mask, Doug. The case fatality rate's like 0.1 to 0.3 according to USC.
Is it really? That's reassuring.
USC.
Everybody here's been vaccinated anyway.
USC and LA County Public Health have come out with a study. They found that there are 7,000 cases in California, but they really believe that there are anywhere from 221,000 to 442,000 people who were infected.
Really?
Yeah.
So that makes it 0.1 to 0.3. Does a study to come out with? Or?
Yeah, just give it to them. So it suggests the case fatality rate is about 10. It seems to be.
Wow.
Which puts you right in line with the flu.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what it is.
So it was a hoax.
I don't think it was a hoax.
I mean, there's so many people now that have shown you that the figures are wrong, and they're even telling you themselves that the figures are wrong. They're even telling you that they're not categorising the deaths properly. They're just basically saying anybody who dies of anything, it's been classed as a COVID death.
If you were in hospice and had already been given, a few weeks to live, and then you also were found to have COVID, that would be counted as a COVID death.
This study aimed to generate an estimate of how many people in Santa Clara County have been infected with the virus. And the way to find out is to try to see whether they have developed antibodies to SARS-CoV-2. And the sample was 3,300 people who came to be tested. We estimated that based on what we saw, between 2.5 and 4.2% of the population of the county has antibodies, which is an indication that they have been infected with the virus a while ago. If you compare the numbers that we estimate to have been infected, which vary from 48,000 to 81,000, versus the number of documented cases that would correspond to the same time horizon around April 1st, when we had 956 cases documented in Santa Clara County, we realized that the number of infected people is somewhere between 50 and 85 times more compared to what we thought, compared to what had been documented. Immediately, that means that the infection fatality rate, the chance of dying, the probability of dying if you are infected, diminishes by 50 to 85-fold, because the denominator in the calculation becomes 50 to 85-fold bigger. Our data suggests that COVID-19 has an infection fatality rate that is in the same ballpark as seasonal influenza. It suggests that we have solid ground to have optimism about the possibility of eventually reopening our society and gaining back our lives.